I'm not enforcing anything. You have interrupted, and you're talking nonsense.
Like bad, how they're terrorists every time you talk about it.
I never said that once. We said the opposite. Muslims are not all terrorists.
You mentioned how Muhammad was violent, and you did not.
Muhammad was violent.
No, you
Surah 9. Surah 9, Muhammad writes, kill the infidel. That's violence. That's what
to attack
Never
you.
carried a sword. Never. You're right.
Muhammad
attacks you. We already
Look,
talked
we don't
about
want to
this.
talk about Islam. Why are you forcing us to talk about it and then accusing us
I'm
of raising
simply
it?
asking you to recognize people and.
No, you're not asking. You ask a question, I begin to answer, and you interrupt me.
You need to
You're not
recognize
asking.
Islam.
I did read it.
Okay, but you didn't read it out loud, and you're still not.
I'm not going to read it out loud.
I'm here to convince you.
Because it's a false translation. I'm not going to read it.
Go through every synagogue. I bet you know some rabbis in a lot of synagogues. Why don't you go ask them, and they will tell you the same thing. I dare you.
I got many rabbi friends. I meet with them on a regular basis.
Good news,
and they are intellectually
You make my
honest.
heart-
The Old Testament never once talks about Muhammad. Never once.
Go ask
And
them
neither
this
does the New
part.
Testament. It doesn't
Go
talk
ask
about
them
Muhammad.
this part. And make sure you ask many.
And
of
by
them.
the
Don't
way,
ask
we
one.
respect you and we love you and we're glad you're here in the
No,
United
you don't.
States.
You're not
So don't
listening to
lump
me.
us into a stereotype.
No, you're not listening.
We celebrate Muslims being here in the United States. We are here to defend you. But when you're intellectually dishonest and when you lie, we're going to call you on it.
And you haven't
I
read
still
it.
respect
and you. Still haven't read it.
I just did read it. You gave it to
No,
me and I
you
read
didn't read it out loud.
I'm not going to read
makes
it out
all the
loud.
difference in the world.
You can read it out loud.
Oh, absolutely. I already did. وَكُلُّ مُحَمَّدٍ. That's what it says in the Hebrew.
Thank
when
you.
it got translated, they took the name Muhammad, who means altogether lovely, and they say this guy who is altogether lovely. So everybody in the world right now is not going to know that Muhammad was here. Could you please comment on that?
No. Why do you trust
No,
Muhammad?
because you can't.
Oh, it's easy,
No,
sir.
because you
Any
can't.
Hebrew
You're running
scholar can
away.
tell you that Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 16, is not talking about a dude who was born in 570 AD and lived till about 632 AD.
And yet here
Muhammad.
it is.
It's not talking about that. It was written 1,000 years before, so it's
yet
not
here
talking
it
about
is.
Muhammad. It's not. And you're intellectually dishonest if you say that. The same way
yet-
I would be intellectually dishonest if I said the Old Testament mentions Jesus of Nazareth. No, it does not, guys.